I would like to ask Reverend Steve Miller from the Village Church to step up and lead us in an invocation.
Can I just say that if our Congress opens each session in prayer, I think it's a great thing on a community level. We're able to do that here, and thank you for serving our community. Let's pray. Father, thank you for the privilege that we have to look to you for guidance, for blessing. Thank you for bringing us and placing us in a country that enjoys the freedoms that we do every single day that we're alive. And we ask that you would just bless this council, give them wisdom to make decisions that are wise and are good for this community. We ask that you would move in a way that causes us to appreciate you for all that you provide for us as we are here. Thank you for this evening. We ask for guidance and wisdom in the decisions that have to be made tonight. As we pray it in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Reverend. So, I would like to call to order the January 22 Town Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we have the roll call, please?
Brian Blazak,
Present.
Paul Hanczak,
Here.
Wayne Condino,
Present.
Michael Schilling,
Here.
Jerry Sweat,
Present.
David Westland,
Present.
Chief Flores by way of acting Chief Rubicki,
Present.
Billman is absent, and Beth Hernandez present.
Okay, thank you. And then we will go to item 4, approval of the minutes. We have minutes for December 19th, 2019, January 1, 2020, and January 8 of 2020 for both town council and the special meetings and the special joint meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll
second
that.
Any comments or questions? Corrections? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Minutes are approved. Item 5 would be public comment.
Jerome Mikulich.
Hi, it's a pleasure to meet everybody on the town council. I've been looking forward to an opportunity to meet each of you and just talk with you briefly about the mobile app that our company City Buy App has developed for your town, and the Shop Local program that's also connected to it. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm available to come and speak with you at another time when I can spend a little time on a computer showing you all on the screen of how it serves the community and helps connect everything great about the town of St. John in one place to look, including all the local businesses and the Shop Local program that's part of it. Last week, we had an opportunity to meet with the Chamber of Commerce and introduce it to them. All the chamber members have a business listing that is on the mobile app, and they get to log in and put up content about their business, including events and offers that they have for the community to help, bring them some more revenue. And different than like a Groupon program, we don't take revenue from the businesses. It all stays right here in the community. And you have some posters that were put together, and it has like the title sponsors that are sponsoring the program too. And these were printed up by the R&B Printing here in town. And so we want to thank them for doing that. And the app is available in the App Store now. You can download it for free, of course, on your iPhone or your Android. And we're going to be working with Jason Dravitt in your IT department so that you can log in at any time to alert your citizens about important things happening that could be related to traffic, construction that you were talking about a little earlier about the redevelopment things happening in the community, and then also, great events like Oktoberfest or things like that, just to keep people aware, including geofencing, that when they drive into areas, they can get a pop-up on their phones so they know what's happening in the community on the instant on their phones, okay? So once again, I'm Jerome. I actually just moved here, built a house here with Lennar and the Gates. So I moved from Southern California after 13 years. So we're really happy to be back here near family and to support the community any way that we can regarding your new mobile app and shop local program. So thank you.
So I know this is an app that we subscribe to
Yes.
as a town, and so, yes, we would welcome you to schedule a time to come back to give us a brief presentation on it. So
Absolutely. We look forward to
we'll
it.
get that scheduled in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Anyone else?
No one else has signed up, sir.
Okay, anybody else would like to make public comment this evening? Okay, we will move on. Number 6. 6A, to award the community crossing grant bid to the lowest and responsible, lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Make the motion as,
I motion that we award the Community Crossing Grant Bid Award to Walsh and Kelly, being the lowest and most responsible bidder.
and support for that?
I'll second that motion.
Questions or comments? Then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. 6B, to consider in the acceptance of the 2020 Fire Department roster.
I'll make a motion to consider the 2020 St. John Fire Department roster.
Second.
Any questions or comments? The chief's not here, so he can't respond, so.
So just so I heard that correctly, it was a motion to accept the fire department. Right. Yeah, you said, I think you said consider, but I think you meant to accept it.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dave.
Hearing no questions or comments, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. Six C, an ordinance number 1700, which amends the 2020 salary ordinance. And if I could, just to explain that briefly, we are modifying the salary ordinance for 2 reasons. One would be to move John Gill, who works for Building and Planning, to move him into a specialized position, which is going to give us better coverage for building improvement inspections. So we're modifying the salary ordinance for that. And also, we are modifying the salary ordinance to make the Park Department maintenance foreman. We've assigned that and transferred Gabe Hernandez from Public Works over to the Park Department to be the Park Department maintenance foreman. And this ordinance had to be modified so that his job description and the pay is divided between Public Works and Park Department, because he's going to continue to do or continue to have some Public Works responsibilities. So, based on that, do I have a motion on ordinance 1700?
I would like to make a motion to amend ordinance 1700, the 2020 salary ordinance.
So you want to make a motion?
I'm sorry to interject, and Mr. Schilling, I'm not picking on you, believe me.
Hey, that's all right. I'm
So-
a big guy, you can take it.
You're bigger than I am, but I can run, so that's okay. What we really need, if you want to consider it tonight on first reading, the first motion you need is a motion to consider it on first reading.
Okay?
So that would be your motion?
Yes.
Can you say that, please?
I would like to consider ordinance 1700 on first reading to amend the 2020 salary ordinance.
Do I have support for that?
I'll second it.
Questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. Is there a motion to adopt salary ordinance, or ordinance 1700, and authorize the town council president to sign it?
I'll make a motion to adopt ordinance number 1700 and authorize the town council president to sign it.
I'll second it.
Questions or comments?
Yes, Mr. President, I do have a comment. Just for the sake of transparency to the public, I wanted public view of what the process that took place for these employees. John Gill apparently has been doing this job for a while and working above his capacity, so the move with him is a correction. The transfer or the partial transfer of an employee to Parks, that job was posted. There were 4 applicants. They were all interviewed. One of them actually withdrew after that, and the best qualified candidate was picked. So I just wanted everyone to know that there was a process. It wasn't just we picked somebody and moved them. There was a whole lot of background work, a lot of time spent on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Then I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. 6D, to consider the approval of the agreement with the St. John Township trustee for fire protection and emergency medical services for unincorporated St. John Township. And we have with us this evening, Ms. Kathy LaRue. If you would care to address this, please, and introduce yourself.
Hello. Thank you. I'm Kathy LaRue, and I'm the St. John Township trustee. And part of the trustee's responsibility is to make sure that we have fire coverage for all of those that live in unincorporated St. John Township. Lake Hills Fire Department is funded primarily from the trustee's office, but in order to cover the whole area, the trustee has agreements with 3 towns, St. John, Sherrville, and Dyer. And it's just a help that some of the areas are covered to make sure that we have the best coverage possible. All the towns participate, and so I have an agreement with the town, and it allows us, we're going to give so much to the town in order for you to provide fire coverage. So, do you have any questions, or just go ahead?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Your funding formula for what you choose that you're gonna give to the towns, where do you get your formula from, or what do you choose your amount that you give?
Well, that's a good question. So when I came in, this is my second year, there were contracts already in place. So what I did is just right now went ahead and adjusted the contracts so that we could overall all the fire departments, it was a 2% increase of what I'm giving to the 3 towns. That is a good question, and that's something that I'm going to be looking into. We have a township board as well, and that's one of the questions they had was, let's look and see what we're paying and, make sure that it's appropriate.
Okay. Because, one question I always have, when they have originally set up this, it was based on volunteer fire departments running it, and our costs have gone up over the years, and what we really get from the township hasn't gone up, so
Yeah,
that's my question, where you get your numbers from.
right. So it did go up last year. No, actually, I take that back. It stayed the same, and then this year it was a 2% increase.
Okay.
Now, in the past, if you look back at your records, you're going to see that St. John had a higher contract, an amount, but what that was because the previous trustee could not have an agreement with the town of Dyer. And there's the northwest part of unincorporated that's right in Dyer's backyard. Across the street is, all surrounding it is the town of Dyer proper. So I went ahead and worked with Dyer to cover that area. And so you'll see that there's a decrease. However, overall, it was a 2% increase.
No, I understand the decrease, because we do
Yeah.
no longer take care of a certain part of it. but
Right.
The number that,
Yeah.
obviously costs go up, so.
Right, right. So, and what, so you know, the funding that we get is strictly from unincorporated St. John Township. So the fire coverage that we pay out, that's from unincorporated township residents. It's not from each individual town as well. So we can't, we're limited on what we can pay out. And I've actually met with Baker Tilly and trying to work so that I could get more funding. But we have two funds. One is a fire fund, and then the other one is CUME fund. And, the CUME fire is limited to what you can use that for. And so it's the funding, it does not come from like St. John Dyer or Cherville residents. It's only unincorporated.
Well, thank you for that.
And I wanted to let you know too, last year I did meet with all the fire chiefs and the 911 director. And when I was negotiating, working the whole area so that Dyer could be part of this, and the fire chiefs and the 911 director came to an agreement on what territories would be covered by each town in addition to Lake Hills. So this is something that I look to them, they're the professionals, and this is what, the area that's covered is what they agreed upon.
Any other questions for Kathy?
Mr. President, if I may, when Chief Willman called me this afternoon to say he was not going to be able to make it tonight, he did ask me to let you all know that this does seem to be in a line and correct with what we have in place.
Thank you, Margaret. So, do I have a motion to approve the agreement as submitted for the St. John Township Trustee for Fire Protection and Emergency Medical Services?
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement as submitted for year 2020.
I'll second that motion.
Any other questions or comments? Then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. Kathy, thank you for being here this evening. Next year, you'll be working this through our new safety board,
Okay.
because they will be in charge of police and fire, and they are just looking for things to work on, and yes, so you'll be dealing with them in the future, but thank you
Okay.
very much.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Do you have anything else for us?
No, I don't. Just
Okay.
to say thank you, and I look forward to working with you.
Okay.
Thank you.
The 6E, we do not have that, correct? So we will we'll defer that to next month? Okay, so we'll pass on 6E then. 6F will be to consider the uniform conflict of interest disclosure statement from Cliff Rowe. Is Mr. Rowe here this evening? Okay, so he can't hear, he's not here to answer any questions, so, basically Cliff is an employee of the police department. Anything you want to cover on this? No? Okay, so Cliff provides, cameras, some other parts and things like that through his other company, when we need that. And so he has to file this conflict of interest statement on an annual basis. Did I get that correct? Okay. So do I have a motion to accept, where are we at? The Uniform Conflict of Interest Statement, Disclosure Statement of Clifford Rowe.
I'll make a motion to approve the uniform conflict of interest of Clifford Rowe, the statement.
Is there support?
I'll second it.
Questions, comments?
No.
Then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. It passes 5-0. 6G, to consider a service agreement with ITI in order to stay compliant with the new federal regulations of the DOT and FMCSA. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the service agreement with ITI.
And
to stay compliant with the new federal regulations of the DOT and the FMCSA. And also authorize the town council president to sign.
Do I have support for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0.
It's cute.
Thank you, sir. 6H is to consider the approval and authorization for the clerk treasurer to delete inactive, obsolete, or other certain utility customer accounts. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the deletion of certain utility customer accounts as determined by the clerk treasurer.
There's support for that?
I'll second it.
Beth, comments?
I mean, just the basic information. We are looking to delete 720 total accounts. These are residents or not residents anymore because they've moved. They are final bills, they are all paid in full, and they all have zero balances. These accounts will be archived in our 2019 billing system. It's just kind of cleanup of our system.
Anybody have any questions for Beth? Sorry, did we do a motion already?
Yes, we
I
did.
did, okay.
And
Thank you.
seconded.
Then all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. Thank you. 6I would be board and commission appointments. The first one we wanted to deal with would be the Economic Development Commission. We have 8 openings on that. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to read the names first and then put the motion in place.
Okay.
Propose John DeYoung, Kelly Stamming, Joey Laxalinas, Rob Godoy, Joseph Barry, Erica Hill, and Carl Madsen. And liaison will be the town manager when we have a new one hired, and myself.
Do I have support for that?
I'll second that.
Questions, comments? I'll call for the question. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. Item number 7, reports and correspondence, town
Hold on,
council.
Jerry, we've got the voting.
No, we don't.
We didn't include it on there
For what? I'm sorry.
for the impact advisory commission.
It's done.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Reports and correspondence from the town council. Wayne, do you have anything?
Not at this time.
Mike?
No.
Paul?
I have 2 things. First, I'd just like to say that Beth Hernandez and Margaret have been doing a phenomenal job this January, helping with the transition, and even prior to that. And I just wanted to acknowledge that publicly, the great job they've been doing. It's a tremendous changeover, what we're trying to do. We're making it go as best as we can make it go. We still have much work ahead. It's probably going to be another month of solid daily work, nightly work even. But I definitely appreciate both of them stepping up and filling in every which way. And as long as I'm mentioning that, I'll say that Wayne and Brian have, because they're retired, have been spending a whole lot of time at Town Hall and filling in the gaps as well. So I definitely appreciate that. The second thing, I'm just making a mention of it tonight because there's a lot of little things that people put on your radar over time, and a few of our citizens have brought up repeatedly how we have this tree board and it never was enacted or never made real. So I read up on the tree board ordinance, and I'd just like to make the statement that I would like to see St. John fill that tree board and make it a reality and work towards becoming a tree city or whatever they call it. I think it's something we need to pursue. Again, we're pretty busy and mired down with some business right now, but that's something that I'd like to see happen before the end of the first quarter. Thank you.
Okay. And then I just have a couple of items. Number one, I just wanted to give an update on the town manager. We posted that position with GovHR. We got, somebody help me, 27?
27.
27 applicants that came in, and we will be going through those and beginning to conduct interviews Friday evening, and we'll be working through next week. We've got some quality candidates, and I'm just excited to get through this process just to see what's available out there for us. But just be assured that we're taking this job seriously. We'd like to get this position filled as soon as possible, but we're not going to rush through it because we want to get it right. So we're just looking for your continued support there. And I would like to echo kind of the same thing Paul did. This group in front of you has spent so many hours just working to make sure that this town is working as it should. And I would just like to thank all of them here without singling anybody out. But I would like to thank them for that. Second matter is the census. There's a census coming up, and I'm going to take this from one of my buddies over at the Cedar Lake Town Council, because he's been pushing this all over the place. How important it is for us to make sure that everybody gets counted. He provided some information, and basically what it amounts to is all the census funding, or all the funding that comes through the federal and the state government, a lot of it is based on what the census numbers are. And the more population you have in your city, the more funds are going to be available to you. The more the population that the state has, the more funds are going to be coming to the state from the federal government. And the estimates that he came up with based on 2016 numbers, that for the 6 years from 2010 up to 2016 and continuing for the 10 years there, it came out to $2,700 per person per year that we would miss if somebody doesn't register for the census. So it's important that everybody register for the census, so that money is going to be available to Indiana, to Lake County, and then also to St. John. So that's all I have. Clerk Treasurer, Beth.
Just a little information. I think we sent you, or Don, I actually sent you a letter about some of our billing information. So in 2019, it's kind of interesting to hear, but we billed a total of 7,667 accounts at the end of December 2019. And this was an increase from 2018 of 344 new accounts in our town, which is pretty amazing. Our 2019 yearly billing total was $6,789,616, which was for a total of 630, 725, 300 total gallons of water. So I thought that was kind of interesting to see the growth of our community from a billing perspective. Last item I have is I received a message from Laura Conley, and she lives, I don't have her address, but she's by Prairie West Park. And several of her neighbors were asking for you to maybe consider pushing the townwide garage sale back until early June. This is definitely a common request that we receive, or that I've received over the last 4 years, just due to weather in early May. So just something she had asked for me to bring up for consideration. I don't think it has to be a decision that you make today, but just she wanted me to put it out there. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Beth. As we go through staff, Margaret, do you have anything?
I don't really have much on behalf of the town manager's office, but Chief Willman did give me his report. If I could go ahead and
Yes.
give that for him quickly.
Okay.
He, for December 2019, there were 128 calls in District 1 in the incorporated limits of St. John, 16 calls in District 2, the unincorporated limits of St. John Township, 12 in District 3, which is all other destinations, including mutual aid. Mutual aid was given to Cherville Fire and EMS, Lake Hills Fire and EMS, Lake Ridge Fire Department, and Cedar Lake Fire and EMS. Sorry. The Monday night activities, on the first Monday, they did their volunteer meeting, their volunteer fire department meeting. December 9th, they did an EMS in-service dealing with medical emergencies brought on by exposure to severe cold weather. and included audit and review of ambulance transports within the Franciscan Crown Point Pre-Hospital Care System. December 16th was an in-house work night to make sure all the facilities, including the training site and vehicles, were ready for winter activity. And the last 2 Mondays, they took off for the holidays.
Thank you, Margaret. I'm going to move over to the police for the report.
All I have is the activity report for the police department for December of 2019. From December 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2019, the members of the St. John Police Department logged 17,563 miles and responded to 568 law incidents. The investigation into these incidents led to 24 arrests with 49 charges being filed. There were 117 traffic citations issued, along with 159 written warnings, for a total of 276 citations being issued during the month. Vehicle thefts totaled $0. Other thefts totaled $1,032. Recovered property totaled $0.
Thank you, Acting Chief Ribicki. Any questions for police or fire reports? Okay. Mr. Westland? Okay. Then we will move on to, I got everybody, right? Yes, okay. Number 8, we've got payments and bills to handle. So we've got some requests to purchase from the Clerk Treasurer's Office to present. Beth, I'm going to turn this over to you.
So we actually have 2 separate things that we need to take care of. If you don't mind, can we please start with the petroleum purchase agreement? Basically, our Public Works Department goes out to bid every time we need to purchase fuel. They do receive 3 bids, and then we always contract with the lowest bidder. So that time has arrived. So we are basically just looking for a motion to authorize the Town Council President to execute the petroleum product purchase agreement on behalf of our Public Works Department.
Do you need that stated with the lowest bidder and the dollar amount?
You can. I don't think it's
Okay,
necessary, but you can.
okay.
We just really need the signature, so.
All right, so it's Warren Oil for $23,354.20. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the town council president to sign the petroleum product purchase agreement.
There's support for that?
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Blazak. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. Beth?
And then Dave, can they approve all of the requests to purchase in one motion, or should they be individual?
I would like them individual.
Individual? Okay, sure. Okay, so the first request to purchase is from Jerome Azell. This is for professional services in the Maui Landham internal investigation. The amount of this request to purchase is $7,695.
Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to pay this bill of $7,695.00.
Is there support for that?
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Passes.
Okay, so the next one is for Ferguson Water Works. This is for the purchase of 72 water meter registers, and this one is in the amount of $10,800.
Do I have a motion?
I'll
Make a motion to approve the $10,800 for the 72 registers from Ferguson.
There's support for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0.
Okay, so then we move on to Red Hat Enterprise. Actually, the company is CDW Government Incorporated. It is in the total amount of $5,540. This is used for our web server, our police department VPN server, and our in-car camera system.
I'll make a motion to pay CDW Government Incorporated the amount of $5,540.00.
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 5-0.
Okay, we'll move on to Gaskill and Walton. This is for one installed 10-inch butterfly valve to work with the existing actuator in the Gates water treatment plant. And then it is also for a purchase of one 10-inch butterfly valve for stock in the amount of $4,900.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to pay Gaskell Walton in the amount of $4,900 even.
There's support for that?
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 That passes 5-0.
And lastly, we have Sheehy Well and Pump Company. This is what we would call a not-to-exceed amount, and it is for a test well that needs to be drilled at the second well site in the Gates East area to see if a viable well is available to feed the Gates water treatment plant, water gas treatment plant. This will not exceed $12,000.
I'll make a motion for Sheehy Well and Pump not to exceed $12,000 for a test well in the East Gates.
There's support for that?
I'll second it.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That passes 5-0. And then also, we get to number 9, which is the payment of bills for the corporation. You have a docket in front of you for $792,686.76. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion we pay the bills in the amount of $792,886.76.
Can you correct that, please?
686.
686?
782, 686.
Smudges on my glasses.
So the motion is for $792,686.76, correct, Mr. Blazek?
Correct.
Do I have support for that?
I'll second that.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Passes 5-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye.